Hello, hello. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Probably delayed. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Apollo family. Good to see you guys again. Welcome to the AMA for Apollo FTW. Appreciate you showing up today, and great suggestion from our community on Telegram, which I suggest you join if you haven't. They said, hey, let's do an AMA. I know you guys are heads deep in game development, as we'll go over in this presentation here, but we want to go fairly quickly through it, so there's plenty of time to do what this stream is designed for, which is to ask questions. So without any further ado, let's jump in. So I'm Matt. I'm one of the devs here on the Apollo project. Behind me there is Zach. Wave Zach. He is the head of kind of product engineering. I do front-end development, design, things like that. And, we've been working on this project for some time now. If you're not familiar, we started with both a token deployment and a utility wrapped around it back in 2021, what we called the Apollo Creator Contest. And that was designed as a passion project and experiment for us to see if we can give away some crypto and bring to life some dreams of some creators. And I thought it was very successful. We gave away about $250,000 or so in funding to deserving creators to realize their projects or pursue their dreams. So really compelled about the crypto and Web3 space. We've been developing apps, games, you name it, for big brands for about, combined about 35 years between us. So kind of a new frontier, a new exciting space for us to dive into, and we felt like our first experiment was really successful. As it went on, obviously volatility in the market started, and we thought, we need to kind of rethink what we're doing after that first utility. It was designed as an experiment, like I said, but come along about, December of 2023, we started thinking again about going back to our roots, which is in the gaming industry. So we launched some NFTs around that time and prep for what we were designing, which would be a gaming platform, releasing a game, our first party game first for that, which we're calling the Moonbase, which I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with. But really started thinking through what a migration looks like after that. So, how do we take this token, which was kind of just a base 6% tax token when we wrote the contracts initially, but we learned a lot as we, moved through the first utility and decided what we would do differently. So we went under a full migration, went very successfully, got everyone their tokens right where they needed to be, and then started building this game ecosystem around that new token, which is zero tax. We locked up all the liquidity for a long period of time, with this kind of idea or design that we want it to be very attractive to traders without taxation. And then how do you get, treasury money out of that, you ask? Well, the design was really around this idea that we'd have a virtual currency within the Moonbase. So it gives us some really unique new metrics with this token of like total value locked. So think of it kind of like staking, but you're staking your money in there to play games, win virtualized tokens, get bonuses and rewards, play against each other eventually, things like that. And then the treasury gets a portion of everything that a gaming arena collects each week. And part of that goes back into the treasury. So we can start to have that taxation, but not have it on the front line of the token buys or sells or anything like that. We could have it within the utility itself, which we really liked, because it's cheaper and it's easier to move virtual currency around than it is that. But the important things of moving it into the multi-sig treasury and out of the multi-sig treasury from the game, that's all on chain, all recorded. So really went through a long, lengthy design process to see how will this kind of work as a good foundation for what we wanted to build in the future. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Moonbase, where we've been with it, where we are right now, and probably we'll answer some questions about where we're going, I'm sure. The style of it, it's kind of this throwback, I'm a child of the 80s, so, I go to the pixel design. A lot of people have polarizing views on it, but, and again, between the idea of like start with something that's approachable, simple, refine it, build it, iterate on it, and make it better, which is kind of our core philosophy as a group. We like the style, especially when focusing on kind of this shooter game that can go in a lot of different directions. And when I say arenas, I mean, game modes or game styles as well. So we've released, kind of this first arena, which is you see some video streaming of here right now, which is go out and seek different things, destroy different things, collect rewards, get ammo, get power-ups, things like that. We've gone through several revisions of this to get it to where it's at right now. And, the PDE version or play to earn version of this is subsidized by the Treasury currently. So each week people compete against each other in different categories, which we post on our Medium. And the Treasury pays out rewards. So it's kind of an easy way to get in there early when fewer people are playing and get yourself on the leaderboards and get a chance to win FTW each week, which we thought was pretty cool, even during a beta cycle. So encourage you to do that if you haven't participated already. It's a pretty simple to access web game. So you just go to your browser and go to our official site, and they'll have a link right there, and you can connect your wallet if you have one. If you hold a little bit of FTW, you can get some access to the rewarded leaderboards. If you want to just play for free, you could do that too. You just don't even have to connect your wallet or anything like that. We're now on some Web 2 gaming platforms as well. So we wanted to make this really accessible, especially in the stage where we're still finding what the right combination of ingredients is for engagement. We're very much still in the engagement and building fee. And then, we'll move into more of the idea of like building some of the bigger constructs that we talked about once we get those metrics from engagement that, we start to form these partnerships and build arenas for other brands, talk about advertising and how that flows back in, and moving on from there. So encourage you to check it out. It has some cool NFT integration, like I mentioned on the slide before, that we launched those a while back, but now there's utility within the game if you hold an NFT that you'll get special power up and things like that. So where are we right now in terms of the progress? 4 alpha cycles completed. This was kind of a private group that we said, let's do it the right way. Let's go through the iterations of thinking up ideas, testing them, throwing stuff away, keeping some stuff, polishing other stuff, and seeing really what resonates with a small group of people. We got the thumbs up. So, like I said, at the end of last year, we kind of went into our first beta phase, which are kind of longer, lengthier phases where you open it up for the public to come out and play. So it's like I said a second ago, like anyone could come and play this game and engage with it now. Doesn't necessarily require Apollo, but that's how you qualify, by holding that in the wallet you connect to win each week on the leaderboards. So we're on the second, or we just finished the second phase, I apologize, of the beta cycle. If you go to our official site, which we'll put in the chat here at the end, or Zach can do it now. Go to our official site. You will you can see links to our Medium, and that's the best place to kind of get updates about each of these cycles, because we post a pretty lengthy and in-depth article about what we added to it at each phase. And there already is one out there right now where I'm teasing, what's coming next in our current cycle, which we just started, which is phase 3. I mentioned we integrated NFTs into the game, so they're not just buy and hold for aesthetics sake. They're actually working utility NFTs, which I think is really cool. There's several of them out there still to purchase as a link from our official site to OpenSea as well. Those, have varying degrees of rarity as well. So like the King Apollo NFT is the most rare, and as we build the game platform out, it's going to have some better and special unique utilities based on which type you hold. So encourage you, if you haven't checked out the NFTs, I think they're pretty reasonable, especially with the price of ETH down right now, where you might consider picking one up. I mentioned weekly leaderboard awards. It's as simple as holding a minimal amount, which we'll post as well here, of FTW that you need to hold, but it's not a lot at all currently during our beta phases. We've expanded this game. We went in a full effort to port this to Web 2 platforms. So we started with itch.io, and we've announced like 4 or 5 others that we have kind of on the horizon that we'd like to expand our footprint into to gain more customer awareness, basically, as we go through this beta cycle. You can play there for free too. If you're more comfortable in doing that than connecting a wallet or playing on a Web3 site, they have to go through their full approval process. So we felt like that gave us a good vote of confidence about the security and the safety of the game as well. So what have we done so far in Beta 3? We did a full kind of upgrade and optimize of a lot of the libraries and the code environment that we use, which is built in Unity, and got us ready basically to expand this thing into new modes and new features, which I'll talk about here in a second. So what are the big things we're planning in Beta 3? I think the biggest one will be a completely new arena. So far in the beta cycles, everybody's been competing on the leaderboards in one main arena. It's got a lot of areas to it, lots to explore, lots of score variants, so people can compete and separate themselves from the pack, which we think is great. But as I mentioned, it's kind of game style or genre is a hunting style game. We wanted to flip the script on that a little bit and have something where it's more survival mode focused. So this one will be pretty much every character in there. There is some in there, and since Beta 2, that spawn from spawners, and they just seek you out immediately to make it a little tougher. Everything will basically be a seeker now, but there'll be all the different types of enemies and maybe one new one as well that you'll see that will be rushing for you. So it's how long can you survive is the key metric, as well as, of course, like we've always done, points and things that you can collect within the environment as well, which give you points. So that will be the new leaderboard construct. Also going to introduce a new kind of character. He's not quite a NPC, but you might have seen him teased in some of the stuff when we first launched the game. This is Leon Tusk. He is the guy who created this moon base, and he has some big treasures and rewards that you'll want to collect, big power-ups and things like that, if you can track him down and shoot him. So if anyone's played Diablo here, a popular game series by Blizzard, they have little goblins that run around sometimes, treasure goblins, and if you see them, you want to kind of stop whatever you're doing and go chase them. Obviously, risk reward there, but this guy will drop some pretty sweet loot if you happen to see him and can catch him, because he'll be pretty fast. He'll run from one side of the board to the other and then disappear. And then with all these new features, adding a new arena, especially, Zach and I talked, and refactoring the terminal, which is the kind of the area that you first go to see all your stats, start a game, connect your wallet, do everything with. We need to add the ability to create like loadouts for NFTs now, and to select which arena that you want to compete in. So the cool thing about this is now, if you've been playing for a while and you're kind of getting bored of the first one, you'll have a new mode to compete on. And then we can have additional rewards that are going out to people that want to compete in either one or both. But it just brings another style of player to the game, and that's kind of what our design was with this first approach, or first game that we did, is can we morph this into 3 or 4 genres pretty easily with how we structure the code and everything within it, and this will start to prove that approach out. So real excited about that. There's some other stuff that we'll wait to kind of talk about as we get deeper into the process. But yeah, we're off and running. The designs are starting for the new arena, which I'm pretty excited about, and we'll share little snippets of that in our socials as we move through Beta 3. Yeah, one final point on that is a lot of people ask, well, what's the focus right now? Definitely in terms of the macro environment that we're in, and what we need to see in terms of metrics, which is engagement growth. The focus really still is on content engagement. I know everyone's favorite question is when marketing. It's still organic. That's still the focus. It doesn't make any sense in the depressed environment to spend a lot of money on marketing and things like that until people come back into the crypto space and they're really kind of engaged again. That's the good time to build, and that's what we're trying to focus on right now, is get the game core metrics right, get some of this new functionality in there, keep working, so we'll be prepared when the markets do kind of turn and start to build again, which we absolutely think they will. Let's talk a little bit about analytics so far. I think we're feeling pretty good about this for an early beta, but we've had a little over 300 unique users in the game, which is cool. It gives us we talk about 6 or 7 within the alpha cycle. That's a multiple of that that we now have playing in it. So I would say I'm really pleased and impressed with the stability of the app. We haven't really gotten any major crash reports or anything like that in our analytics or reported by other people. A couple of early things to help people through in beta 1, but beta 2 has seemed really solid. So really pleased with the security and the stability of the game so far. We've had over 2,000 games registered and played. A lot of points scored, so you can kind of look at that metric and compare it with the leaderboard in the terminal and kind of see where you might fit on average, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so an average of about 3.5 minutes per game. This is something like this is what we like to track in beta to see, how hard is that experience? How can we tune it to make it a little easier, a little harder? But you're talking about the max you can play within a game is about 10 minutes, and the difficulty ramp's pretty high. So to see it at 3.4 is tracking pretty well, but that helps us make decisions about tweaking things and improving things for user retention, right? A lot of enemy kills, pretty awesome. A lot of AMTs, that's what we're testing right now in terms of the virtual value that people can collect in the game. So not everyone's going to be the incredible hunter killer top leaderboard score thing. We wanted another way for people to be able to engage and gain value, and one way to do that is to hunt down virtual tokens within the environment. So even if you don't play on the leaderboard, eventually these will be added to your bank account that you can cash out Apollo in. So we got to balance that to make sure that it doesn't kill the treasury. And eventually we'll have the feature, which we've already written a lot of code for people to spend their tokens to be able to play games or wager against their games. And a lot of that will kind of go into the pool or so of tokens that people can collect around the arena. So it's all about balancing an economy too. But in order to get that economy right, when you turn it live, we need to test it throughout these beta cycles. So all these tests are running well. We're getting some good data. It's telling us exactly where we need to tweak things. So been very pleased with those. Another question that's asked a lot to us as a community member, like, well, what can I do? I hear you. It's kind of a downtime. Y'all are building. It might be a little more quiet across. It is in a lot of projects in crypto that I've experienced, but it doesn't mean that we can't stop as a community. This whole project was built around the idea that we dev and the communities, and every great project in the crypto space has been built around the community really charging hard and being passionate about what we do. We hope we've earned trust, and we've been here a long time, and we've continued to build. And it takes all of us, right? Of course, the time for marketing will come, and we'll work through that in terms of the best approaches. But what can you do if you're new? Well, go visit the official website. Make sure you really understand the project, the ins and outs. I think it's a well-designed website, and it's a safe place to link to all of our other channels. The main one, which is the Telegram. So we usually are in there at some point every day, communicating, giving updates, posting things. But yeah, it'd be great to have new people in there that can engage with us and learn more about the project, ask questions and things like that. Of course, play the game. As I mentioned, you can get to our site and you can play it for free on itch. You can connect your wallet with Apollo in it, potentially win some money by playing some games. That's the best way to understand what we're building here, is actually get into the content and engage with it, right? Of course, reposting our content on X is a big thing. Upvote it. There's a way that you can comment and upvote on itch. And why Web 2 is important, again, that's going to bring in a bunch of people that may not be Web 3 users or might not be that experienced with crypto. But if you start a conversation with them getting really good at the game, and then you want to tell them, hey, there's a way that you can get real value out of this, which is kind of what our mission is in the whole creator contest. And with this is we want to return power to the users, the creators, the gamers, the people that matter to us, and see them get rewarded for their actions and efforts. So it's a good way to start that conversation with someone who might not be that familiar with Web 3, but might be comfortable in a Web 2 gaming environment. Of course, I mentioned the Medium earlier. Follow that for kind of more detailed updates. And we're not afraid of feedback. Doesn't mean we can do everything that everyone wants as fast as everyone wants, but that doesn't scare us. Ask anyone in our Telegram. Like, we love to hear the feedback and have conversations and debates. So that's kind of a list of things that I think the whole community can help us activate on. All right, with that, like I said, I wasn't going to take a ton of time, but want to shift the conversation over to any questions. Please post them in the chat and be happy to answer them. If not, we'll wrap this up and get out of here. Okay, I'm looking to see here. Mookie. Yeah, I just want to see if the new mode will be same similar map as the first time. No, so hey Mookie, how are you doing, buddy? No, completely new map. I don't think the current map is like structured with the thought in mind for surviving a swarm. I'll watch the episode of Last of Us this week and get some good ideas, I'm sure, of how to defend. But yeah, I have some ideas about some barriers that can be destroyed over time that you can kind of take shelter in for a second to reprieve. But going to be more of kind of a square, a straight square arena. It's kind of square right now, with some different doors that will open as things progress. But for the most part, it's just going to be surviving a rush with a completely new look. It'll probably be mostly the base interior with a little bit of moon exterior. So kind of flipped of what we have right now. Yeah, and that's part of the fun part of what I enjoy in this kind of thing is like this is feedback we get from people, and Mookie's a great example of one of our alpha testers that's given us some amazing stuff that's found its way into the game, and that's where I talk about feedback. Like it matters. Like the more you give us, the more you get engaged, and the more it drives us to be able to build value within the game. So I love that, Luke. Appreciate the comment. All right, we'll give it another 15, 20 seconds. If not, we'll wrap up here and get back to the work. But yeah, I think appreciate everyone. All right, can you make people play against each other in your game? Yeah, thanks for the comment, Serge. Yeah, that's kind of the end-all, be-all idea. That's a pretty expensive and time-consuming effort to get into like real-time multiplayer. We're looking at some other ways where we can maybe do it with posting scores and competing head-to-head. But definitely, I think anytime you get into multiplayer, really cool. I think we need a specialized map for that as well. As I mentioned earlier, I think our key is right now we just want to get our base engagement up and give us a vision that, hey, moving to the next base camp, it's the right time and we got the right momentum and the right market around it, and then definitely that's an area we want to move into is head-to-head type competition. So great question. All right, guys. Like I said, I think we're going to get back to work. We've got lots in front of us. Appreciate that. Again, join our Telegram. Give us a like here on YouTube if you don't mind. And we'll keep doing this streaming content every once in a while. But really appreciate everyone in the community. You guys have always been behind us and encouraging, and it keeps us going, and excited about what the future of this space and this project holds. So I appreciate it, and we'll talk to everyone soon. Take care.